Let me guess. It's January and we have set our new goals for this year. You set your goal last week when you listened to the podcast, right? You made your backward plan and now you know precisely what you need to do. But there is one problem. Between your 9 to 5, your family, and your responsibilities and your exhaustion at the end of your day, where are you supposed to find time to work on your goals? I hear this all the time. Alice, I want to achieve my goals, but I literally don't have time. And I'm going to tell you something you might not want to hear. You do have time. This is week 2 of our Vision to Victory series, and today we're talking about the 5 to 9 advantage. Not your 9 to 5, that job where you work on someone else's dream. I'm talking about your 5 to 9, where you work on your dream. By the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly where your time is going. You're going to know how to reclaim your time and how to protect it like your future depends on it. Because guess what? It does. Let's dive in. There was a time when I had a dream to write a book. That book would impact lives. I just knew it would. I had a few stories to tell that I believe people could relate to, and I thought I could share some amazing life lessons that I've learned. Thinking maybe if people would read my book, they wouldn't have to make some of the mistakes I made. Or maybe I'll write a book that would encourage people to go after their goals. And for a long time, I had that vision. I had the plan in my head, but it was just living rent free in my head. I couldn't seem to make any progress on this because I didn't think I had enough time. Every morning I wake up with good intentions. Today's going to be the day. I am going to work on my book. But then guess what happened? There would be emails I needed to reply to and meetings I had to have and Slack messages and Teams from my coworkers that of course required an immediate response. Maybe my customer was a big calling and they needed help with my services. My inbox was overflowing with emails that, of course, I had to read and reply to, right? But I'm going to be honest. I also spent a lot of time scrolling on social media. If you're anything like me, you pick up that phone and you think, I'm just going to check Facebook for a minute. But before you know it, an hour has gone by, an hour and 30 minutes have gone by, and now you have wasted a lot of time. By the end of the long day, after all the emails and all the meetings and all the responses and all the things we have to do, I would be exhausted. And I tell myself, oh man, I'm tired now. I have given this day all that I'm going to give it. I'm done. I'll try again tomorrow. But then tomorrow became next week, and next week became next month. And my dream of writing the book, well, guess where it stayed? In my head. I kept saying to myself, I don't have time. And honestly, I was overcommitted and I couldn't see where I had time. But then something changed everything. I started tracking my time mentally. And a couple of times I'd write out things on paper and see if I was getting to all those things on that to-do list. But you know what I discovered? I had spent way too much time on social media, and I spent too many hours committed to other people and other things that had nothing to do with my dreams. At times, I found I was just way too distracted. And if you're like me, I have a bit of adult attention deficit disorder, always doing 5 things and having 20 tabs open at one time. But after tracking my time, I began to realize that time wasn't my problem. We're all given the same 24 hours in a day, right? My problem was where I was using my time. And maybe you're something like me. You genuinely feel like you don't have time in your schedule to go after your dreams or do that thing you had really hoped that you could accomplish. Your calendar is packed, your days are full. Maybe you have kids, and I understand that. I have 4 kids. They're all grown now, but I had to make some shifts even while they were young to begin to focus on my dreams. Now, I'm going to ask you, what if you tracked every hour you spent for the next 3 days? What would you find? Would you find that you've lost a lot of hours scrolling on social media? Would you find that you had hours doing things that really didn't matter? A lot of time spent in the car, a lot of time spent waiting. But while you were waiting for maybe your kids at soccer practice or football practice, you were on social media rather than doing something that would be pushing you closer to your dreams? Would you find that you were consumed with everybody and everything that had nothing to do with your responsibilities or with your dream? Would you find that you had hours that you given to other people's priorities instead of your own? Now, I'm going to give you a brutal truth, and let's imagine I'm holding your hands when I say this. If you can find where your time is going, then you can reclaim it. So here's our mindset shift for today. You don't find time, you make time. The truth is, nobody is going to give you time to work on your dreams. Your boss ain't going to give that to you, of course. They want you working on their dreams. Your family's not going to give that to you. And your friends are not going to give that to you. And if you wait for a convenient time, it's never going to come. You have to claim your time. You have to block it out for yourself, and you have to protect it, and you have to make it non-negotiable. And that is what the 5 to 9 is all about. Your 9 to 5 is when you work on someone else's dreams. Your 5 to 9 is when you work on your dreams. Maybe your 5 to 9 time that you find to work on your dreams is early in the morning before anybody wakes up. This is what I call the golden hours because there are no notifications coming usually between like 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Most people are still asleep. It's just peaceful and you can focus. But if 5 a.m. sounds a little crazy to you to wake up, maybe your 5 to 9 time is in the evening after you put your kids to bed. Maybe you're not a morning person and you work better in the evening. Now, the 5 to 9 is just the phrase for this. What I really want you to do is consider what is that time that you are most productive and the time when you are least distracted. This could even be a few hours on a Saturday morning when someone else can watch the kids and you take some time for yourself. Now, the specific time doesn't really matter. What really matters is that you claim that time. You put it on your calendar and you treat it like a meeting that you cannot miss. You have to protect it like your future depends on it because it does. Let me give you an example. When I start claiming my 5 to 9 time, I chose like 5 to about 6:30, 7 a.m. during the weekdays. This is when I would write my books. This is when I would build the courses. And this is when I might work on some quiet things for my business. Was it easy? No. Because, of course, I had to wake up earlier. I had to also go to bed earlier. But in 1 year, I wrote 3 books. I launched multiple courses and I was still able to run my 2 tutoring centers. And guess what else? I worked a day job as well. Now, I know that sounds like hustle hard, but I really wanted my dreams. I was really after those things that I knew God had placed on my heart. And it all worked out because I claimed a few hours a day for me, not for anybody else. I made myself and my dreams a priority. Now think about it. I took 2 hours a day. That's 10 hours a week. That's 40 hours in a month. That's 480 hours in a year. Imagine if you had 480 hours in a year to work on your dreams and not somebody else's. That's more than enough time to finish what you started. Now, you don't need 8 hours in a day because sometimes over that 8 hours, you get distracted, don't you? If you could just use 2 focus hours towards your dreams, I believe you would be much further ahead at accomplishing your dreams this year. The Bible tells us in Ephesians 5:15 and 16, be careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Whoa, y'all. That's a good one, right? Especially when we think about it in this context. Making the most of every opportunity, that is what this is about. This is how we're going to get to those goals and achieve those goals this year. God gave you the time. He also gave you the vision and he gave you a purpose. So the question is, will you steward it well? Will you claim your time and use it to build what he's called you to build? All right, so let's get practical. You know what I like to do? I like to give you a little exercise on every episode. So I want you to grab a pen and paper if you can. If you're driving, just make some mental notes that you'll work on later. And then there is a worksheet in the show notes. So save this video so you can come back and work on it later if you're driving. If you're not driving and you have the time, go ahead and grab your journal, grab a piece of paper, grab something to write with, and let's do these 2 exercises today. So the first one is called the time audit. I want you to track your time for the next 3 days. Every single thing you do, I want you to write it down, either in 30-minute or 1 hour. I want you to really, really get down to what time did you wake up? What was your work time? What time did you take lunch? When did you scroll on social media? And you know, they had that thing on your phone where you can go and see how much time you spent in specific apps or see how much time you spent on things. So I want you to be honest. How much time did you spend on social media? Because I know if you're anything like me, we think that we were on there for like 5 or 10 minutes, but then time just flies by. Time just flies by when it comes to social media. How much time did you spend watching TV? How much time did you spend running errands? How much time did you spend with family time? Now that's critical because we don't just live to work. So it's important that you do spend family time. How much time did you sleep? Ooh, I'm so guilty, y'all. I will wake up early now because, I'm thinking about my 5 to 9 time or my 5 to 7. So sometimes I'll go to bed late, but I'm committed to waking up early. So sometimes I don't get that 8 hours that they say we need. But I want you to write down how much sleep, how much time you slept. I want you to write down how much time you did everything. I don't want you to change your behavior this week. I just want you to track it and be honest. Now, I know that it's January, so you might be trying to be perfect right now, but I don't want you to write this as an ideal day. I want you to write this as a realistic day. All right. Now, after 3 days, I want you to add up how much time you spent on each activity in each category. Remember, work, sleep, family, working on your goal, social media, TV streaming, phone scrolling, and anything else that's eating up some of your time. Then I want you to ask yourself, where is my time leaking? Where am I spending hours that I could reclaim? I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to find at least 5 hours that you didn't realize you had in at least a week. 5 to 10 hours that you didn't realize you had that you have been spending on other things. Those are the hours you are going to use to change your life and to achieve your goals. Now, let's try exercise number 2. Ready? Once you see where your time is going, it's time to claim it back. I want you to ask yourself, when can I consistently work on my goal? Early in the morning before work, in the evening after work, and let me pause and say something about in the evening after work and being tired. I say this in my course, and so maybe you'll come in and come to the course and hang out with us and work with us. But your job pays you a salary to do a job, yes? They pay you to do 100% of the task, right? They gave you a salary and they said, if you do this, we'll pay you this much. As an employer and an employee, I say this with all my heart. Give the job what they pay you for. Not 150%, not 175%, 100%. They pay you this much to do this job. You do that job, not more than that job. Because what you might find is you are so tied into their dreams and giving above and beyond that you are not considering your dreams. And now, when you finish that work day, you're too tired to work on your dreams because you have given so much to their dreams. You get what I'm saying? Look at your evening hours after work. What could you also be doing during your lunch breaks? When I was working, um, a job where I had to go into work, I would take certain things that I know I wanted to accomplish during my lunch break. So, hey, I got this 30 minutes. I'm going to make this quick call that I need to make during my lunch break. Even if I had to go sit in my car to do that, I'm going to make this quick call that I needed to do to move my dream a little bit further. Or when I was working on my PhD, over my lunch break, maybe I'm going to do a quick little research. I'm going to write a couple paragraphs in my dissertation. I'm going to do something, but I'm going to use all of my time wisely because my lunch break is my time. And then consider the weekends. Are the weekends the time that you need to set aside? When I was working on my PhD, there were times when I would take Saturday mornings and leave the house and go and work in a coffee shop. Or there were times when I was deep into the study that I would schedule time in a hotel and take that time for me to write my dissertation uninterrupted. So let me get back to it. What I want you to do is pick a time that works for your life. You know your life, you know your schedule, and you also know where you've been wasting time. I don't want you to try to copy someone else's schedule because sometimes what we do is we watch YouTube videos and we hear, oh, I got to do time blocking, or we get all these planners and we're trying to make our lives fit into that planner or fit into somebody else's idea of what productivity looks like. What I want you to do is, while I am calling this a 5 to 9 time, that's just a fancy way of saying find some time in your schedule where you can focus on your things. Now, once you pick that time, I need you to block your calendar and I need you to make it recurring. So go into your phone and does this meeting repeat? Absolutely, it repeats because this is your 5 to 9 time, whether that's 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., whatever works for you. Now, I'm not an evening person. I am very much a morning person. By the time the evening comes, I got no brain cells to think. I'm done. I'm just done. I laugh at that because my daughter and I work together a lot, and she is an evening person and I am a morning person. In the morning, trying to talk to her about something important, her talking department has not opened. And then when she's trying to talk to me in the evening about something, then I laugh and I say what she says to me, the talking department is closed. Like, we can't be thinking about anything fancy at that time. So certainly you have to have a team of people who can work with you where you are. But let's get back to this. I want you to find that time that works in your schedule. I want you to block it on your calendar and make it reoccurring. I want you to treat this like you are meeting with the CEO of your future, because that is exactly what you're doing. You are meeting with the future you, and that meeting is very important and it must be protected. So, in your notebook, I want you to write and pick that time. My 5 to 9 time is, and write that time. Then I want you to write the days that you're going to do that. Maybe you're a parent and you can't do a 5 to 9 time every single day unless you pick the time before the kids wake up, or you purposely put them to bed at a specific time so that you have that work time. So write the days. And then I want you to write what you're going to work on. And then when you put it in your calendar, schedule that appointment exactly with what you're going to work on during that time. I have appointments in my calendar that say things like, read chapter 2 of that book, write episode 5 of the podcast, call this person with the phone number in there so that I don't get distracted when I'm looking for the phone number. Okay? So again, what you're going to write in your journal or in your notebook is my 5 to 9 time is, these are the days I'm going to work on it, and what it is you're going to actually work on. And hopefully when you write what you're going to work on, these are those small action steps related to your goal that you're going to work on. Again, jump in on our course. It's free for a few more days. But jump in on our course because I will help you to think about those small action steps that you can take as you break down that bigger goal that we talked about last week or that we talked about in the last episode down into these small actionable steps. So then we can write in our or put on our calendar when we're going to work on those steps. Now, let's talk about the hard part. Protecting your time. You've got to protect this time because you have to think about, and I want you to think about it right now in this exercise, what's going to steal that time? The time that you just wrote there, what's going to steal that time? Is it social media? Is it emails? Is it other people's requests and other people's problems? And we're going to talk about distractions in later episodes. Is it TV? Binge watching? Your favorite show? Netflix? What's going to steal your time? I want you to write down your biggest time thief. And then I want you to write down what boundary you're going to put around it. So, for example, if your time thief is social media, your boundary is my phone is going to go in the other room during this time. Now, one of the ways I'm one of those people, I don't really like to be too far away from my phone. Although my kids are adults, I always feel like, but they might need me. But what I will do is I'll put the phone on ring. I'll put it in another room. If a call keeps coming back to back, then I know that it's important. If it's not that important. Let's use another example as a time thief. Maybe it's other people's requests or other people's problems. What's the boundary you're going to put around that? One example might be I don't answer calls during my deep work time because that's what this 5 to 9 is. It's your deep work time. Again, we'll talk about distractions and how to block those distractions later, but these are a couple little tips. Maybe your time thief is email. What kind of boundary can you put around that? I'll check my email after I finish my 5 to 9 time, not during. We're going to turn off those notifications. We're going to turn those notifications off. We're going to put that phone on focus. We're going to put it on D&D. We're going to put it on something so that emails and notifications popping up and vibrating and all the things don't interrupt our 5 to 9 time. You have to protect your time like your life depends on it, like your dreams depend on it, because they do. Now, that's the exercise. I want you to track your time. I want you to claim your 5 to 9 time, and I want you to protect it fiercely. If you do this, I promise you, you will be amazed at what you can accomplish in just a few hours every day or every week. All right, now let's lock this in. You've just identified where your time is going and where you're going to reclaim it. That is powerful. Now, I need you to take action. We got to take action. So, first, if you did not do the activity because either you were driving or you'd like a nice little worksheet to work through this, you can download the free time audit worksheet. This gives you the exact template where to track your time for the next 3 days and identify where you are leaking minutes and hours. You can get the worksheet here in the show notes or meet us in the community where I have that worksheet and many others that we are working on to help us achieve our goals this year. Second, I want you to block your 5 to 9 time on your calendar right now. Don't wait till Sunday. I'll keep talking while you pulling out your phone to get it done. Don't wait until you have a free moment. I need you to block it out right now, especially if you've already worked through the exercise with us because you got it written on the paper. So go ahead, pull out your phone, put it on your calendar, block the time. Remember, make it reoccurring. How often does this repeat? You can even name it something wonderful like my dream builder time or my future time or the CEO time or whatever it is that you want to call it. I would love for you to call it whatever the future you is going to be. My content creator time. Third, if you want the full system for protecting your time, building unstoppable momentum, join us in the Vision to Victory course inside the Fulcrum Mindset community on School, where we're going deeper. We tackle obstacles there. We talk about distractions. We talk about the guilt of goal setting and goal achievement. We talk about the excuses that people make. And we're doing it all together in the community. And we would love to have you there. I think it's a wonderful place for you to come and celebrate your wins. Sometimes we post our wins on social media with our family and friends, and we don't get the replies we expect to get. So I would love to have you come there into a community where we're always looking for wins and we're celebrating each other with these wins. You don't have to figure this out all alone. Next week on the podcast here, we're talking about how to build foundations that make your success inevitable. We're covering strengths, we're talking about habits, and we're talking about momentum. You are not going to want to miss it. Make sure you tune in to our podcast. Listen, your dreams are not going to build themselves. And the truth is, nobody is going to hand you time. Nobody is going to protect your schedule for you. You have to claim it. You have to fight for it, and you have to make it non-negotiable. But when you do, everything changes. 2 focused hours a day can transform your entire life. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop saying you don't have time. I need you to claim your 5 to 9, and then I need you to protect it. Then I need you to use it. From vision to victory, that's going to be your story. I'll see you next week.